day, and I looked this up last night, Fort Detrick had a history of developing biological warfare. It was the center of America's offensive biological weapons research program, but it ended in 1969. Today, its stated mission is biodefense, developing vaccines, treatments, detection methods, and protection against biological attacks. So now they reverse engineer all that. Are they working with high-risk things? Absolutely. Are they working with gain of function? Absolutely. Is there a huge risk for gain of function? Absolutely. And that's why the irresponsibility of funding the Wuhan lab should be called into question. Do they have the same type of guardrails that we have in the United States? Absolutely not. And that's probably more than likely how the virus escaped into the wet market and then went boom around the world. But to say that right now at Fort Detrick, they're still doing that is a bridge that you can guess, you can think, you can conjuncture, you can jump to those conclusions, but it's hard to get all the way across that for me unless I can actually back it up with facts, not my thoughts or my feelings or my intuition. So a lot of people have been talking about that this morning on Richmond's Morning News. So if you want to comment, feel free. 833-804-1140. A lot of people got mad at me yesterday because they're like, he's a war criminal. He should be sent to The Hague in the World Court. I can't back that up because I don't have proof positive that he did that. I can conjecture. I can feel that way. I can be frustrated, but I'm going to be responsible and not just run down the hallway with scissors. I think I told you this in church a couple months ago. At St. Mary's here in the west end of Henrico. The priest said, you know, we could use a lot less these days? Crazy. We could use a lot less crazy in the world. It has enough crazy right now. Let's try to be sane. So as much as it would make me feel great to just, I think the world needs just a little bit more sanity and for adults to stand up and try to keep their wits about them when everybody else is losing theirs just out of frustration. Because believe me, I am so frustrated at watching Fauci give the plead the fifth so many times. It made my head spin. All right. It's 8:06 this morning on Richmond's Morning News. You guys want to comment? 833-804-1140. Love hearing from you. We read the best text messages, 655, 755, 855. Right now, let's give you Richmond's Morning News Brief on News Radio WRVA. Number one story, everybody's talking about it. Anthony Fauci, 111 times he pled the fifth before a Senate committee yesterday, and Rand Paul says he's going to bring him up on contempt of Congress charges. We'll see where that goes, but that's the big story this morning.
Number one.
He hurt trust in this country. He put this country in a tailspin. He almost bankrupted our country with what they did. Between Obama and Biden, this guy gets Weasel of the Year award.
100%. And the fact that he didn't, it angers me to no end. It really does, and frustrates a lot of people. There's Tommy Tuberville. I'll get your reaction coming up at 9:33 when we open up the phones. All right, story number two. We're going to talk about this with Jim Gilmore in just a bit. The U.S., after a surprise attack by Iran, it looked like we were going to go for a couple days. Donald Trump said, hey, we're getting some really great conversations, negotiations going well. They want to stop, and then boom, they start launching missiles at the United States, and Donald Trump goes, I'm going to bomb the blank and blank out of them, and it started last night.
Number two.
President Trump told Fox News yesterday that Iran was going to get a beating. U.S. Central Command said dozens of targets belonging to Iran's Revolutionary Guard were hit in an operation lasting over 2 hours. Military command centers, missile and drone facilities, and coastal surveillance and defense sites. Early this morning, Jordan's air defenses shot down 5 Iranian missiles. This week has seen the conflict expand with the first publicly announced joint U.S.-Saudi strikes targeting Iranian proxies in Iraq. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
All right, story number three. Danny Avula joined us on the program a little bit earlier, exclusive interview with the mayor of Richmond, and we talked about why the city is proposing a 1-cent sales tax. He said, hey, listen, I get it. Things are hurting right now. We're also going to lower the meals tax by 1 cent. We talked about how the budgets for the schools, and you got schools that are over 100 years. Again, my big thing is I just want transparency. If you need the money for the schools, that's great. Just show me that money's not being wasted. And again, I asked the superintendent of schools to come on the program. We've asked him twice to appear on the show. I've actually met him. I was at City Hall. One of the reasons why I go to these things is so I can introduce myself, people, look them in the eye and go, hey, I want you to come on the show. I'll treat you fairly. I'll never say anything on the air that I won't say. I'll never say anything on the air that I wouldn't say to your face. But that means I need you to come on the show. And again, we've not heard back from the superintendent when we emailed him asking him to come on the program and explain how the projections were so off. Here's the deal. I sincerely believe this. The Richmond Public Schools dropped this in the lap of City Hall and dropped it on all of us. They were not very responsible when they put together their forecast because they forecasted money that was coming from the state. State didn't tell them how much they were going to get. They just made, I'm assuming, an assumption. And you know what happens when you assume? You make a blank out of you and me, and that's what it feels like right now. How did they come up with the projection that they had of here's what the budget's going to be? And when they finally get the real numbers from the state, they're 8.6 million short. How do you have that forecast and you're not telling us how you messed your forecast up by so much? Wow. Really ridiculous. All right. Let's see. What do I got? Oh, I got story number 4. We talked about this. You know, so many people talk about all the money that college sports makes, and these players deserve a bit of the pie. These schools are raking in money hand over fist. And the immortal words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. That's story number 4.
Number 4.
So I saw this come out yesterday. I just want to read this to you, just so you know. Everybody talks about the amount of money that comes in and the revenue that's generated from college football and college sports, and these players deserve a piece of this. So Penn State actually had this put out there. It's the 2025 team-by-team net revenue. This is how much profit they make. Now, there's a lot of income that comes in, and football brings in a ton of money. They also have a bunch of expenses. Coaches get paid a lot. Players get a lot. But if you look at the net revenue versus the net, meaning the revenue minus expenses, at Penn State University, and this is a big-time college football program, they make a profit of $57 million a year. Next on the list, men's basketball. They make a profit of $172,000 a year. You know what everybody else does on that athletic department? They all lose money. Men's fencing. This is amazing. Men's fencing, right? They have a men's fencing team. They lose almost $500,000 a year. The women's team loses over $500,000 a year. Women's golf loses more than $500,000 a year when you go net revenues versus expenses. Golf, more than $500,000. Men's tennis loses $760,000 a year. Women's tennis loses $813,000 a year. The gymnastics team loses almost $1 million a year. That's their net loss. That's how much they're on the red. Field hockey loses $1.1 million. Women's swimming and diving loses $1.1 million. Men lose $1.1 million. Gymnastics, $1.5 million almost is what their net loss is. Men's soccer loses $1.5 million. Wrestling, $1.6 million in net loss. Men's track loses $1.68 million a year. Women, $1.7 million a year. Softball, everybody loves softball. We see them on TV for the Women's College World Series. They lose at Penn State $1.8 million. Men's baseball. Baseball loses $3.1 million a year. And how about this? Women's basketball. They lose $4.7 million a year on that program. Revenue minus expenses. So next time somebody talks about NIL and these athletes deserve, they have all this money coming in. Well, they don't. The football team brings in a lot of money. Men's basketball brings in some. The rest are all living off the profits of the football team. Something to think about. Let's see. Finally, guess what? I might go to the movies today because the new Spider-Man movie's out.
Number 5.
This weekend, Spider-Man is back. This time, he has organic web powers and now spends 45 minutes deciding whether to fight crime or just stay home because his back hurts. It's everything you loved about every Spider-Man movie, only with 12% more spider. Spider-Man, brand new day, because apparently getting bitten by one spider just wasn't enough.
Dave, you want to go?
I think I'll pass.
What? It's a Marvel movie. We all want to see Marvel movies.
No, I'm over them.
So it's just about everybody else.
I was into it for a while, but
I
after the
was.
first or second one of each series, I go, okay, that's enough.
See, I kind of feel like they're trying to put their hand in my pocket. Like
I only saw the first Spider-Man, and I thought it was good. I thought Tobey Maguire was really good.
There's been like 3 different versions. The last Spider-Man movie was pretty cool, where they had all the different Spider-Men coming together.
Okay, I
for
didn't see that one.
the different iterations of Spider-Man. That was kind of cool.
That's I saw the first 2 Iron Man, and
Okay.
the first one I thought was really good.
First one was great.
The second one was kind of average. I saw the first Wonder Woman. I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually liked it.
Okay,
Then I heard the second one was really bad, so I never saw it.
it's kind of cheesy.
And I saw the first 2 X-Men, 2
Avengers?
or 3.
Do you see any of the
No,
Avengers movies?
I had given up by then.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is they had too many.
Yeah, there's too many in a short amount of time.
Well, I didn't
least
mind
for
like
me.
if you had 2 a year, I'm okay. But then they moved into the Disney
Yeah,
channel, and I had to see the Disney channel. I couldn't just see one, and I had to see them all. It just seemed like I was getting my pocket picked all the time. Just in case you're wondering, Rotten Tomatoes has the list of the best MCU movies out there. It says the number 1 movie of all time in the MCU is Black Panther, followed by a tie between Iron Man, which you liked, Avengers Endgame, both tied for second, tied for fourth, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Thor Ragnarok. Now, Thor Ragnarok was good. I liked that one.
was that the first Thor? I saw the first one, but I
think
don't
it's
remember what it.
I don't remember. See, again, that's why.
I think that may have been this. I don't remember.
So anyway, those are what they said the best MCU movies are. All right. 8:15 this morning on Richmond's Morning News. Thanks for joining us, everybody, here on News Radio WRVA. We'll talk with Governor Jim Gilmore coming up here in just a little bit. I got a whole bunch to talk about him as far as international things, because it looks like the United States is between a rock and a hard place right now when it comes to Iran. Do you continue to keep talking, or do you have to get more aggressive militarily? And how are you going to bring this thing to an end? We'll talk about that coming up with Jim Gilmore, former governor and ambassador for the United States. All right. Today's program brought to you in part by our friends at Men's